My hair was really curly on that card. I'm pretty sure Atlas doesn't see my hair as curly.
You'd be pretty surprised, man. Pretty surprised.
My family's racist.
I don't know about all that. Just trying to encourage you to grow the fro, you know?
It's not going to happen, man.
Yeah, bring it out, dude.
No, it bakes my brain. Like, that's when
your brain.
When my hair is like this long, I can feel it starts bugging me.
Wow.
Okay. And the only thing I can think is it's just extra heat up on my brain, which probably overheats anyway.
Definitely not good.
With all my brilliant thoughts.
Yeah, those are the ones. I guess this is weird. Doesn't this feel weird?
I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah, it feels too weird. Maybe this is a poor idea. Hello. Welcome to the show, everyone. I figured maybe since we hit you with bad news a couple weeks ago about going down to every other week for the show, that I was like, hey, maybe now we have time to produce a video podcast. So, I figured a great introduction video episode would be Police and the Paranormal. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've touched on that. I got some juicy cop stories I'm trying to get out there into the world.
No, good luck beating that one.
I know. We bring it up about every 10 to 15 episodes or so. We're like, remember that one story?
That was one of the craziest paranormal stories I've ever heard.
I know. Well, we're hoping we got some juicy ones for you today because these are some of our favorites, as we mentioned. And then, oddly enough, the next episode after this is actually the Halloween episode. Things are going to be coming up so fast now that we only do 2 episodes a month. It's going to be, a few more episodes, and it's going to be Christmas again. So we got to get into that.
That means we're going to have to put up lights.
For Christmas? I'm not doing it for Halloween. Halloween, I'm just going to change these lights to...
No, but we're going to have to put Christmas... We got to do a little before it snows.
Yeah. Yep, it's coming. For all of us.
Or next week before it's even cold.
There you go. Yeah, trying to be so pissed. Coming on and be like, why are the Christmas lights out? Because we don't want to be out there when it's snowing. Anyway, so I don't actually have an opening monologue for this episode. I was just planning on being like, hey, we're doing video podcast now, and we'll see. And maybe we go back. If it's too hectic, we do switch it up. But for the time being, we're going to try to keep up on this. And that's all I have. So I guess we'll see you on the inside. You are now entering the realm of the freaky deaky. An unsuspecting stop at the crossroads of fantasy and reality, where the frayed edges of make-believe seep into this cookie-cutter white picket world you've been led to believe is far from extraordinary. What you're about to hear are true stories.
Alleged true stories.
Christian, just... Okay? Tales of the strange and inexplicable thought only to exist in film and folklore. Although difficult to accept, we do not know everything about this reality. About time or space, what lies beneath the ocean's depths. And try though we might, the unchanging truth remains. There are some things we legitimately cannot explain logically.
We need a weird-ass intro if we're kind of...
I have one. I mean, it's the same song. I just put graphics and whatnot.
No, we should like, at some point, just do an homage to the genre, like Ghost Hunters, and act like we're in an abandoned building, acting all scared.
Running with a cell phone or something like that.
Yeah.
Black and white or night vision.
Do the little voice recorder, but have it say something about freaky deaky.
Ghosts are real. It's just voice bits of you over the years.
Throw out some tarot cards on a table.
Yeah, we're not going to do that, though,
We can do it. We just don't do it.
Dabble.
We don't need to dabble.
I'm sorry. Picking something up and throwing it on a table is technically dabbling. You are dabbling with the tarot.
No.
Leaving it where it's at in some black magic shop or witch hut somewhere.
What happened if someone put a pack of tarot cards on the toilet and you had to go really bad? Would you dabble?
No, I'd pee on the tarot cards.
But the toilet lid's shut.
I don't care. It's not my toilet, obviously. If there's tarot cards on it. I pee in the name of Jesus at that point, the way you got to. So, folks, welcome in. Apologies that was the intro that you got after the intro. Not exactly a hot start, if you will. I guess now would be a great time, even though I guess in the intro it does tell you to buy merch and everything like that and follow on socials, but follow us on social media at Freaky Deaky Pod, wherever you're at. We are also at that. And if you have a spooky story of your own, feel free to share that with us to be featured in a freaky listener story, which we also need you because I think we have several of those ready to go. Send that into the gang at thefreakydeaky.com and we will get you there. Anyway, this first story is called Death Comes for Us All, and it's by Arctic Acid 75. My dad used to be a police officer in a small town in northern Missouri, and being the nice guy that he was, he often picked up the town drunk and drove him to his home 10 miles out of town. So one night, the drunk decides to drive himself and crashes on the side of a wheat field 5 miles from home. My dad is the first person they call since he is decently good friends with said drunk. My dad goes out to the crash site and the scene is creepy as hell. It's 11 p.m., very foggy this particular day, and he kept hearing weird noises from the animals across the field in the forest there. So he goes up to the car and sees that the drunk is dead. He calls for an ambulance and... Were you chuckling?
No, I said oops.
Oh, oops. That's a weird reaction for a death.
It's better than a chuckle.
That guy's dead. Oops. Yeah. Well, I mean, the combination of two would be finishing move for sure, but it's fine. Yep, so he goes, sees the guy's dead, calls for an ambulance and some backup. They clean up the body and tell the farmer what happened to that part of the field. That'd be gross.
You got a ghost and new fertilizer.
Yeah, a lot of blood on that side of the field, Mr. McDonald. It's fine.
It's old Mr. McDonald.
That is correct. You got me. So fast forward a couple weeks, my dad is going home after his job. Coincidentally, he has to drive along the same highway the drunk died on. As he passes by, and this is during the night under the same conditions the drunk died in, keep that in mind. As he's driving past the wreck site, my dad said he won't forget what he saw. The drunk that died was standing on the side of the road wearing the same ragged, bloody clothes he died in. His face was akin to the face of a Dementor from Harry Potter and seemed to whisper the words, "Help me." My dad stopped by the drunk's spirit and it ran full speed at the squad car he was in and screamed a sound that sounded like a very tortured man being prepared for another beating. My dad sped out of there, went home, and told my mom what happened. I vividly remember playing my Nintendo 64 when he walked in and his face was white as snow. He told the tale to my mom, took a shower, and drank 5 bottles of beer. He told me to go to bed, and after I closed the door, he began sobbing. The next day, I asked what was wrong, and he told me a friend had died. He showed me a picture of the drunk and said he was with God now. Fast forward to 2007, I'm at my dad's funeral. He was getting help for a drug addiction that happened after he quit the force, and a med he was on killed him due to allergies. And in walks the same guy that died 3 years earlier. Nobody talked to him, and he didn't acknowledge anyone. After we finished burying my dad, the guy that died stood there. After a couple seconds of this, he faded. I knew that the drunk wanted to welcome my dad to the other side as they were very close. Funny thing is, a couple days before my father died, we had a conversation about death, and he said death scared him a lot. It comforts me to know that my dad wasn't alone when he passed into the void. My grandmother told me this story a couple months ago because my mom and grandmother were the only people that he told. Well, the Harry Potter Dementor bit is a little spooky, no thanks on that, but I don't know how comforting it is to know that the only person that came for you when you died was the town drunk that had died in a drunk driving accident.
Came to pay his respects. I didn't.
That's who's escorting you to the other side.
I didn't feel like it was. I mean, I feel like the person telling the story interprets it that way, but Dad was already dead for a while. Obviously, if they're doing the funeral, so maybe he just came to pay his respects from wherever he was at, and
perhaps
whoever was. I mean.
It just seemed odd, right? Like, of all the people that you probably touched in your life and all that, like, the town drunk seems, like, that's not who I'm calling on if I pass on and I'm like, who's taking me to the other side? And it's like some bum. He's like, huh? Oh, yeah, it's great over here. Don't worry. Yeah.
He's probably not drunk.
I'm still drunk, dude. What's happening?
He's probably not drunk anymore. So
there is an option, but we won't get into that.
So he's just probably there. You know, and
he's just there.
The guy's dad, the cop,
sure,
did the drunk guy a solid all the time. Was probably one of the few people friends with him at that time.
I'm not saying he didn't do like a good thing for the drunk, and like be there and be kind for him and stuff. But I'm just saying that that's not who I want showing up at my funeral, you know? That seems like the last person I'd be like, oh, I hope that drunk dude pops in.
I would say I don't care who shows up at my funeral.
As long as they're talking about you, right, Christian?
No, as long as the people that need to show up. If nobody needs to show up at my funeral, go do something better. I'm dead.
Wow. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm weird about that, though. It's like, whatever, man.
Yeah, you are a little weird about that, but that's fine because you're actually, believe it or not, fairly weird about a lot of things. So
that's just your opinion.
That is true. And my entire life, I was the weird person. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm maybe not. Maybe I'm the rational one, you know?
I don't think I'm irrational.
Your beliefs are irrational, especially about ghosts, man. I think after so many stories, we're pushing year 6. We're coming up on year 6 of this podcast, and you still don't believe in ghosts.
I still haven't seen a good picture that's,
well, no.
I haven't seen videos. I've maybe experienced something, but maybe not. Wow. You know, it's hard to tell whether that was an actual ghost experience I had or what. But ghosts, like I said, a bunch of times, they just don't make sense in the grand scheme of the way.
That's exactly what makes sense about ghosts, if you think about it, is because we're not supposed to understand what lies beyond this life. Yeah. And so if it made sense to us, then would it really be that supernatural or that spectacular of an event? I
don't think ghosts are quite what we've been led to believe. If people are experiencing something, it might not be a ghost. Just could be a communication, and we just interpreted it as some ghostly reaction or image or whatever.
At that point, you're just arguing titles, you know?
Maybe. But ghosts aren't real. Spirits might be, but not ghosts. Demons are real, and every case proves it. I don't remember saying that. Demons are real, and every case proves it. You don't have that kind of power. That part, I believe. I do have that kind of power. You don't, though.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said. I don't have that kind of power, and you were mistaken. And that's fine. And you know, it just dawned on me that if we're doing video now, when we get around to releasing After Dark and TFD the musical and stuff, the first like 6 to 10 episodes of that are just going to be audio, and people are going to be like, what the hell? And then, yeah, all that stuff is so messed up. I don't even want to think about it right now. It's fine, guys. We'll get there at some point, you know?
When we get famous, it'll all be video.
There'll be a documentary about the backlog of random episodes we have. And 0 people will watch it unless one of us passes away. And then they'll reminisce.
Tap, tap, not it.
Okie dokie. Anyway, this is called Devil in the Backseat. And it's by made-up username 1900. Classic. I was about 2 years into my law enforcement career. I received a call to a local hotel. When I arrived, a young lady was causing a disturbance in the front parking lot. Skipping through all the boring details, I ended up having to arrest her. En route back to the PD, she started talking in an extremely deep and demonic way, saying words I didn't understand. Ironically, she sounded nearly exactly how some movies portray demonic voices. The best way I can describe it is like a multitude of demonic voices all speaking at one time. The hairs on my arm literally stood up and I nearly wrecked. Seriously, I almost went into a ditch. As quickly as the demonic voices started, they stopped and she began speaking normally. After I eased out of my shock, I slowed down to nearly a stop and turned around to look at her in my back seat. I asked her, "What did you just say?" She repeated what she said.
In her nice voice?
She repeated what she had just said in her normal voice. I said, "No, what did you say before that?" She had no idea what I was talking about. I booked it back to the PD as quickly as possible. Fast forward about 2 hours later, my dispatch called me over the radio requesting I phone the dispatch office. When the dispatcher picked up, she said, "I don't know who or what you just brought in, but you need to get up here and deal with her." I arrive at the jail, and when I walk back to her cell, she's balled up in a corner growling. I promptly told our dispatcher that any short of calling in a priest, I'm completely stumped as to what to do. The dispatcher simply monitored her throughout the night. The next day, she was allowed to sign herself out of jail, and I never saw her again. That was 31 years ago. I have retired September 1st of this year. For the remainder of my career, I never experienced anything like that. I can remember every small detail of that experience, and I think about it often. Now, before you get into your theories,
There's no theory.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you that there's another story in this episode that is painfully similar to that.
So it has another human in it that growls?
Not the growling. I don't think the growling bit, but that one's even a little creepier than this one. So I'll spare you any of the details until we actually get there.
I would have liked to known why this person ended up being arrested. I feel like that's an important missing.
Just said she was like causing a scene, yeah.
I mean, maybe she's.
What else would she be doing? You know?
Maybe she's just got a little bit of mental thing going.
Well, it's nice to assume, but without any evidence or research, we simply cannot state that. But she might be possessed. There is the possibility of possession. I don't know. But like, what is it inside someone that, outside of a demon, obviously, that makes them act that way? You know, like, I mean, obviously people have like these moments where they can break or whatever, but that in general seems really spooky compared to just someone having like a bad day or being angry, or
Maybe there's multiple personalities in there.
that reminds me of have you seen it's been going around, someone made a simulator for schizophrenia.
No.
Oof. I recommend you don't watch it. That scared the shit out of me. Yeah, it's pretty much, there was a dude with schizophrenia who was like, this is what it's like to be me. And, oh my God. Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. I'll send it to you. I know I recommended you not to watch it, but now I feel like you need to. Yeah, definitely empathize a lot with people that have to go through something like that.
Yeah, that's what this reminds me of more than a demonic thing.
Well, as we mentioned in episode 250 of this very podcast, it can actually be both. And there's people that are going to be like, whoa.
As you mentioned.
Yeah, but see, that's the whole point of this show, is that there's two opinions. One is definitively wrong, and one is clearly correct. And it's fine that, you know, maybe it switches back and forth from episode to episode, but there's always one wrong opinion, right? Or have we both been wrong on something? Probably.
I'm sure we have.
In the comments is like, yes, there was this. You guys remember this part? This thing happened.
Yeah.
Just listing all our sins and whatnot. Yeah, we just can't let us be, huh?
Our voice has been recorded for multiple episodes. I'm sure I got one or two things wrong.
You don't have that kind of power?
I mean, I don't, but
it's fine.
I
don't know, man.
I ain't perfect.
The people that experience this, like, this is something that I would actually like to experience in reality. I would like to hear the voice switch thing, because I feel like if you hear it firsthand, you might be able to be like, yeah, that sounded like maybe it's just, yeah. But like at the same time, there's different, like, you're talking about people. There's been stories of children that do this super deep demonic voice, and don't get me wrong, your boy's got some register to his voice, but I don't think I'd be able to fool anyone with it to the point where they'd be like, oh, that's actually a demon now.
I always find it fascinating that demons basically sound like us. I feel like they should have an accent all the time, because demons are old, so they come from a time when everybody had a different accent than what's basically used now.
Tell me this one thing though. What happens? Let's say you got a British in you, yeah?
Okay.
And you move to the United States. What happens within like a year or two?
Depends on how old you are.
Does it really depend? I mean, these people are ancient, right? They've had to have moved all across the earth. They probably had 50 different accents, and they can mimic things, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like they probably have a natural demonic tongue, you know?
I feel like they should speak other languages besides Latin too. That's like stereotypical demons only knowing Latin.
But can you have a stereotype for something that doesn't exist, you know?
I'm speaking like I'm you.
Well, I don't stereotype demons, Christian.
I just did.
That's not me.
I just did.
I know you did. I'm saying that I do not.
I don't know what we need a demon organization that
I think we're good with
complains about like our treatment of them.
Is that the Church of Satan?
No, but I was watching something on that recently.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah. Are you thinking about joining?
No, I think the Church of Satan, especially Anton LaVey's Church of Satan, is the most ridiculous thing in the world. It's just to me, it's like hedonism.
Here we go. And that's what they want you to think. And hedonism is bad, yes.
Right.
So
it's just like, I'm going to do whatever I want to.
Yeah.
I don't believe any of this crap.
Sure.
And from my understanding is Anton LaVey was kind of a jerk.
What do you think about people that exit the Church of Satan and tell you what happened there? Do you not believe them? Do you think that all of them are just like clout searching? Like,
I think it was just a pervy group of people back in the late 60s.
Well, it was obviously a pervy group of people.
And that was their whole point. So when things happen there, it's not surprising because you get people trying to be pervy. Sometimes you get the ones that do weird stuff.
Sometimes you don't even have to be in the Church of Satan to find people that do weird stuff, you know?
I mean,
They're all around us.
Everybody has their own interpretation of what weird is. I'm not here to kink shame.
Well, that's what if we're not here to kink shame, what are we doing here, Christian? Honestly?
I was just Church of Satan shaming. That's all I was here doing. I thought you'd be okay with that.
I'm okay with it, but it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth when you do it because you're not fully grasped. You're like pushing aside all the actual like creepy shit. And being like, yeah, they're just perverts, you know. Like, there's no like, oh, there's rituals and they do this and they do this. Like,
yeah, but it's not real. None of those rituals are fully made up for entertainment purposes and to grab people.
But you're not even in the Church of Satan, so how could you possibly know that?
I feel like I have looked into the Church of Satan because I've always looked into weird stuff related to this field that we're in.
Do you think that is all you have to do is look into it and Google search for a couple times and be like, well, I'm fully vested in this.
No,
I understand everything about this and what's going on.
I've done as much as I could for somebody that wasn't old enough to even experience any of those people back then because I was too young. I was a baby or not even born when the Church of Satan was around.
To rephrase it and not experience those people. You know what I mean? That is not what you want to hear.
I don't think they're not even real Satan worshipers. So what are we even talking about?
What are we talking about? I feel like we're talking about two different things. You know what I mean?
I'm sure there's a couple that actually believe, but
I'm sure there's a couple that don't believe in Satan. I'm sure the vast majority of them are like, hell yeah.
How are people going to like, here's this new book about Satan and it actually is legitimate. It's not, it's made up satanic, whatever, Bible, bunch of bullshit.
Okay. Well, get them. You already know. You know the deal. Come on. Everyone get them.
And I've actually read parts of that book.
I'm sure you
It's not any good.
That's how I feel about the Quran and all that. You know, I've read parts of that book. It's not very
Quran's
good.
fine. It's somebody's holy book. Who cares?
That's a hot take, Christian. There's very much not fine.
Same God.
Oh.
Moving on.
Oh, folks, sorry that this is the opening video. I didn't want to get into this discussion, but if you ever say that again, it's highly offensive to me. For the record.
I mean, it's an Abrahamic God.
Oh, yeah. But is it though?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get it. Christian is making wildly offensive claims right now. And I know it's okay because I'm a Christian and you can do that. And if it was at the other foot, then you wouldn't be able to do that. If I was a Muslim, you couldn't say that. If I was Church of Scientology, you couldn't say that. If I was a Mormon, you couldn't really say that. But because I'm a Christian, it's fine to just mock and ridicule whatever I believe and put your own thoughts on that and say, this is actually what this is, regardless of how well researched you are in your own beliefs.
I just feel like I mocked a religion just a second ago that wasn't Christianity. So don't at me, bro.
The Church of Satan is not a religion. It's a mockery. So maybe it gets, documents saying we are a church, but come on. The Church of Satan, get out of here. All right, I'm going to get into this Chupacabra story that is very brief before our cameras cut off. A lot of manual labor goes into this now. Are you happy? Is this what you wanted? Okay. And this one's by Gary Nova. It says, cop here. Pretty sure I saw a Chupacabra once. My rookie saw it too.
I saw one too.
I thought of you when I read this story, actually. I work midnights. This thing ran in front of our car in the southeast United States. But it was something I've never seen and not seen since. It was about 3 feet tall, hairless. It had no lips.
Hideous.
But it had big fangs. walked on two legs, red eyes, seemed to have a snout and claws. Freaky looking. This guy is very short with his words, very brief, abbreviated sentences. It's like, this is what I saw. No lips, big fangs, claws.
He's old school.
Well,
No
let's check
fluff.
out.
His reports are...
That means this must be a very accurate story that we're catching. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are probably like, well, it could be a mange. It could be a mange situation, you know? But at the same time, the walking on two legs, even though there are accounts of that happening with like deer and whatnot when they go crazy or whatever, I still, I don't know. No lips. I don't really think dogs have lips. So, you know, it's not really a...
The only thing that would make the Chupacabra possible to me is if it was an escaped genetically modified animal.
That is a fun theory as well.
That could breed, which they're not supposed to be able to breed when you genetically alter an animal like that, I believe.
What was that one? Sure, it was wildly fabricated, but that off Montauk or something like that. Do you remember that? That thing washed up.
Oh, yeah, that weird sea creature.
People
Supposed
said it was a dog, but it had kind of like a weird, like almost like a beak looking.
It did look like a beak,
Yeah.
but also it had been in the water for a while. It's always hard to
Weird
tell.
things happen in the water. But it was close to some research facility that allegedly they were doing modifications.
I
on
feel
animals
like
and stuff.
I feel like it was off the coast of Montauk, or we're near Montauk. But
I believe it to be true in my heart. Yes.
I mean, you believe a lot of things to be true in your heart that probably aren't. Same with me. Probably the same with me.
Wow.
Actually, I don't believe anything's true, so maybe not.
Wow. Well.
I have very, very few truths in my life.
Well, we hold these truths to be self-evident.
I don't believe.
You don't believe that? Oh my goodness!
I would
He's a racist too. Damn it!
I don't believe that's how we live.
Oh wow! Do you just want like a convent somewhere? Do you want a bunch of? Do you wish that you're like some kind of culty leader?
No, I don't want to be a cult.
Really? You wouldn't like that? Like being in, like the flowy robes and stuff on like a patch of
Hell
grass
no.
and a bunch of
No.
Okay, come on. Even I would be like, that'd be kind of cool. Be
Mm.
kind of cool. Just not have to work. Just everyone, hey, drink your Kool-Aid and go, come learn my wisdom later.
But then you got to come up with bullshit all the time to keep them spoon-fed their brainwashing.
That would be difficult. That not as big of a fan of. Yeah, maybe just go on Fiverr or something like that and buy someone else's curriculum.
I mean,
Is this the cult special? Because I'm trying to start a cult here.
I'm trying to find a good cult to bring on the podcast.
Now that seems dicey.
I mean,
don't
not a
know.
real cult. A cult to talk about is what I mean. I'm not bringing a cult on the podcast.
Yeah. Maybe don't actually bring the cult here. Though if you are a member of a cult and you'd like to share your experiences after you got out, of course, respectfully.
You know who would have been the cult that would have been interesting to talk to is the Hell Bob cult.
Yeah, but they're all behind a comet or something now, yeah?
Or the spaceship took them up. I don't remember.
Yeah, they probably flew off by now.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if they were just on the opposite side of that comet the whole time. Wasn't that the theory? That's what they were saying, right? Like our spaceship's on the other side of this comet?
Something like that.
It's been so many years since I heard anything about that, but that was definitely a weird one.
But at least those people seemed like decent people. They were just believers in whatever they were believing. But they were all very smart, very well educated.
Were they, though?
I mean, by scholastic standards, yeah.
Hey, scholastic standards are pretty...
I'm not talking
Yeah.
about like normal elementary school. They most of them went to college, got degrees. They just had a weird. It just shows you any of us can be
propagandized.
I mean, we already are, but that's part of our society. But any of us can end up in a cult.
And maybe one of us does. Hey, maybe we all do at some point. We've been trying to get this cult off the ground for a while now. And now that you can gaze into Christian's eyes longingly.
I want to be in the cult of personality.
Yeah, that sounds boring, though.
Yeah, we'll see if anybody knows that reference. If you know that reference, let us know.
Well, Christian, everyone is over 96 years old. Everyone gets that reference.
96, good number.
I know, it's your favorite. This next story is called The Harsh White Light. It's a bit racy.
I do like that title.
Thank you. Oh, this one's good. Actually, I like the story a lot. Let me wipe all the disgusting sweat from my brow.
We're going to have to start powdering your forehead.
Nah.
Old school television productions. I used to have to powder people's foreheads.
I'll just wear a do-rag.
Please don't.
No, I think it's time.
Time for you to
I think it's time for the do-rag.
culturally appropriate the do-rag.
I'm someone that has actually never believed in cultural appropriation.
I don't really
I think
either.
I believe in cultural appreciation. Right, that's a really cool thing you guys do. I might start doing that.
But I want to wear a dashiki. I'm wearing a dashiki.
Hell yeah, dude.
But then some people be like, that's okay if you wear a dashiki. I'm like, that's not what I mean.
Yeah, they beg. You can, Christian, you can wear a dashiki if you'd like.
No, I can't. I
And
can't.
then I roll up in one. They're like, okay, someone's got to put the brakes on this. It's fine.
I'm going to wear a Kango.
A Kango? Okay.
In the 80s, LL Cool J made that very popular. It's just a dumbass hat from New York.
Okay. I think it's time you work a hat into your routine.
I can't do it, man.
Have you tried?
Yes.
Whatever you say. Anyway, it says my brother was a traffic cop in a rural county for 20 years. He always would go for the night shifts, finding them generally more interesting in his jurisdiction.
I get that.
True. The short of it is that he was stopped at an unlit crossroads in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by endless farmland on all sides. It was the middle of the night, and the only light came from his headlights and the instruments in his dashboard. He knew this particular area well, as he tended to loiter in it during the quietest part of the night. Given this was a rural area with such a low population that they would have a single officer on that time of night, and they shared a dispatcher with the local fire department. He was doing paperwork while sitting there. Suddenly, the entire truck and area around the truck was lit up with this harsh white light. He was terrified at first and sat motionless for what he described as several minutes. The only sound he heard was his own idling engine as he sat parked there. Then he was standing outside in the middle of the street, looking up at a blinding white light that shut off with no trace. The moment it shut off, there was this clear night sky above him. And this was the very early 80s, so he was almost staring up at the Milky Way. Don't feel like that part needed to be added, but okay. Can't you do that right now?
Not in Alaska.
But there are people who get like Milky Way photography and stuff like that to this day, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's just a weird thing to throw in there.
Maybe he's just trying to emphasize how small this place was or how rural.
True. He says he doesn't remember getting out of his patrol car. He said the whole thing lasted about 10 minutes and his wristwatch and patrol car worked without issue. When this happened, he didn't say anything at first, but he stopped working nights for a while. After 5 years of nights, the handful of other cops covered him for a while. I remember him acting strange for a while. So many whiles. So many whiles, dude. Take 2 of these whiles out. I remember him acting strange for a little bit. How's that? Perhaps grappling with whatever happened. When he ultimately told my parents and me about it, there was a lot of concern. I was a kid when Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out, and being young and dumb, I immediately started joking with him about that, but stopped when it was obvious something was wrong. He pursued the medical approach to things and went through all these tests, afraid maybe it was a brain tumor or something. They found nothing. Ultimately, he went back to working nights until the late 80s when the population grew and hard drugs started appearing in the community. Uh-oh. He never mentioned having another experience like it again, but I know it still bothers him. Whatever happened to him? A few years ago, he was visiting. We were working on something in the garage. I have this super bright flashlight that emits this harsh white light that lights up whatever I pointed at. At one point, I aimed it in his general direction, and I could see his expression change, and he froze up. His demeanor changed entirely. When I was checking on him because it was so strange that he seemed to shut off, he just mentioned he was thinking of the light at the crossroads, gave a forced smile, and seemed to return to normal. Okay, I know that's your brother, but that's a dick move. To be like, oh, remember that one thing, that crazy unexplained experience that my brother had with a harsh white light? Well, I got this little harsh white light here, and I think it'd be hilarious to shine it at my brother.
That's not a good move.
That's sibling stuff right there.
So this cop was abducted.
That's what it kind of feels like, yeah. That would eat away at you over time, you know?
Would it?
Not knowing what happened, not knowing anything that took place in that 10-minute span. You know, you're sitting there, you're like, oh, there's bright light outside. What is going on? There's no noise, nothing. And then just suddenly you're staring up at the sky and this bright light shuts off with nothing else. And all you see is the night sky. And you're like, okay, how many things were shoved into my asshole? You know?
Maybe it's Matrix style and they just flipped on the lights above his pod and he saw it.
Oh.
And then when they turned it off, he went back to the simulation.
Yeah, but what are they doing? You know, they're not just like, where's this man? Okay, let's put him back.
How do we know?
Well, I mean, obviously that's not what they're doing. Otherwise, you'd probably remember it.
Not if they control the...
But what would the point of that experiment be if they zap you up and they don't shove things in your ass? You know?
Here we go again.
Like, what is the point of that? What is the point? Well, you're just inconvenienced. I'm at work, dude.
Do you believe everything you hear about alien abductions? Maybe that's not...
I believe, there's
maybe that's propaganda.
There's a common denominator with a lot of these stories, Christian, and it's having things up your ass. And sometimes weird, stuff going on with aliens and trying to milk you. You know, it's kind of, there's a lot of crazy. And I get why you don't want people to remember that. Okay. But if you're not doing that, then what's the point of, like, wouldn't that be something crazy? You'd be like, we zapped to this human. We're like, hey, don't worry. We come in peace. And if you're just talking to them, you'd be like, anyway, see you later. Fleet floor.
I've heard plenty of those stories too.
No. Those always have like...
I'm sorry if you fixate on the butt stuff.
I fixate on the butt stuff? I'm not sure that's entirely the case.
Do you think...
I was looking at, I do love the probing. I was looking at that butt and I was like, I probably won't need that. I didn't put it on. I don't think.
Nobody cares.
It's fine. Whatever. It's fine, guys. No, I'm just saying nobody wants to get probed, Like, you don't even get to fully come to terms with it because you don't remember it at all.
What if he didn't get probed? I didn't hear anything in that story that made
him walking weird afterwards. Yeah, of course not. Why would he mention that? But like, and after that light shut off, I couldn't walk straight for a week.
I thought he was acting weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't mention not being able to, or not walking weird. He didn't mention walking weird.
He mentioned acting weird.
Yes, which you would do if you had a bunch of things shoved up your butt, Christian.
You would also do it if you like all of a sudden are hit over the head with, hey, maybe I got abducted. That's going to change your way of thinking for a while.
No, the first thought on his mind, the second it happened, as soon as he saw the stars, he was like, uh-oh. Is anyone around? No. Check for bleeding? No.
I feel like...
Is it tender?
I feel like the whole butt fixation is a human fixation on sexual things. So
are you saying that people are sexualizing the aliens and focusing on butt stuff because they want the aliens to be all up inside them? Is that what you're...
the way you say it, I know where you're trying to go. But remember, there's a genre of Bigfoot romance books.
Yeah.
Where they sexualize Bigfoot. So obviously humans are weird.
Spoiler alert, there's a lot of perverts in the world, all right?
I mean, maybe.
There's been talk that there might even be one in this studio with us right now.
With your butt fixation, I'm starting to think you are.
It's not a fixation, Christian. You know that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on. We've talked so much this episode that, quite frankly, I don't think we're going to be able to get through all these stories.
I like being on camera.
Clearly. Okay. I definitely needs to... Oh, very nice. Yeah, these are good. Anyway, we'll see you guys next... No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. Let's see. Is this one spooky? I want to get a couple spooky ones. This is the tying into the first story that we had, or not the first story, the second one with the demon in the backseat or whatever. And this one is called Two Voices Simultaneously. So let's hear you explain this, Christian. And it's by Charles Linderman. It says, I was dispatched to a structure fire. For the record, this has some very grotesque details in it. So, if that's not your thing, make it your thing. Anyway, here we go. I was distracted. I was dispatched to a structure fire, a disturbance call, and a request for an ambulance. all at the same address. Multiple calls were coming in about the incident. When I arrived on scene, I found a crowd of people holding down a violent, naked man who was screaming at the top of his lungs.
He got abducted.
Okay.
Butt stuff.
Okay. Nearby, an elderly woman had been struck multiple times in the head with a hammer.
Ooh.
And the house was fully engulfed, flames rolling out the windows. My first thought was, WTF? I quickly determined that the naked man was the elderly woman's son. He had attacked her with a hammer and set the house on fire. She was a lay pastor at one of the rural churches, and while in prison, he had turned to Satanism.
Of course he has.
Of course. Why do you say that like it's not possible? Like it's not like possible for people to do these things, you know? You say, of course, you had like every story we have, they're like, and then he turned to Satanism. But this is the first, this might actually be the first story we've covered where someone turned to Satanism. You know what I mean?
I feel like I hear you talk about Satanism a lot. Maybe not like this, but
no, I talk about symbolism, satanic symbolism for sure.
Of course, the reason I said it like that is, of course, that's why he killed his mother instead of just being crazy or evil without the possession part. Go ahead, though.
I handcuffed the wild man and had neighbors hold him down until additional units arrived. Then I began administering life-saving care to the woman. She had multiple depressed skull fractures and one of her eyes was hanging onto her cheek.
Yikes.
The house was a total loss, and the woman was rushed to intensive care. The naked man terrified me. He was speaking in two voices at the same time. I had him in the back of the police car, and I knew he was alone, but I heard two distinct voices. One moment, he would cry out to God to save him. Then, a deep, guttural, evil-sounding voice would respond, "Shut up, you weakling, I own your soul." The man would scream out in remorse, only for the dark voice to sneer back, "The deal is done." This back and forth continued, the man begging for salvation while the other voice laughed. I truly believe I had evil itself in handcuffs that day. The suspect later hung himself in prison. Even now, as I write this, the hair on my neck and arms is standing straight up. Believe it or not, I know it happened. I rarely share this story because it's so unbelievable, but I swear it's true. Edit to add, I probably failed to explain that as well as I could have. He was talking in two voices simultaneously. I have dealt with many schizophrenics in my day, and this was not the case here. Spooky. No thanks. That's a no for me, boss.
Another reason we need body cams so we can get these two voices.
I know, if body cams were a thing back there, that would be top notch.
I mean,
just picture experiencing something. I know you don't believe any of that, but picture experiencing something like that face to face. You know, that's got to change you. We talk about butt stuff and aliens. Seeing something like that, it's got to change you.
Well, I mean, most cops have been changed because they have to see stuff like that.
You'd be begging for butt stuff from aliens after that, you know?
No, I wouldn't.
You might be surprised.
Aliens, I've seen the pictures. They're not sexy.
It's a personal preference, but all right.
It is weird, but I don't know how we can prove one way or another that it sounded like two voices.
Well, see, that's the thing is we can't do any of that. I'm reading a story that's from someone that says, whether you believe this or not, I know what I witnessed, and I've dealt with schizophrenics, and I've done like that. Then this still haunts me after all this time. And I know, yes, people are fallible, and yes, you know, there are plenty of situations where something else could have been in the mix, in the fray there, that makes it sound like this is going on, but
just could have been an interpretation that he.
How do you interpret that wrong, though?
It depends on in a high stress situation, a lot of things can be misinterpreted. So I can't say one way or another, but it could have simply been that he didn't hear two voices. He just thought he did. There's no way to tell on a story like this. So I don't feel like I should have to go deep into that explanation. That's if he felt like he heard two voices, he felt like he heard two voices.
Sure.
That doesn't mean there were two voices.
Sure. From a guy that turned to Satanism in prison. And I know that you don't include that with your theories because you don't believe that is...
I generally don't hear too often about people turning to Satanism in prison. It's usually other things.
It is usually other things, huh?
I mean, I'm talking spiritual things, not your alien abduction things again.
Yeah. Well, it can be a lonely time for some folks, Christian. You don't think about that, though, huh? Maybe, though, you miss the warmth and comfort of a woman. Yeah. Does weird things to us, Christian, you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like I've heard about dual voices or two different voices and other.
Japanese beatboxers. I feel like they could probably pull it off.
They're possessed, of course.
I feel like you have to be to beatbox the way some of these dudes do.
Michael Winslow, the OG.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to give it to him, by all means.
I mean, he was
great, but what I'm saying, like, it doesn't hold a candle to what I'm seeing these days with all the crazy.
I would agree with you there because he was an OG, so he started it, or he made people realize.
Passing the torch now. Like, now you make weird sounds with your mouth.
He was in multiple Police Academy movies because he had that skill.
That's all you need. That's all you need, really.
He would have been he would be TikTok famous right now if he was just starting out.
Yeah. But the fact that he's elderly, like, that's why I think at the end of the day, I look at this show, I'm like, there's no way this could ever be like hit with the youths because the youngest person here is 35. You know what I mean?
Well, also the youths, they experience their digital life differently, I guess.
Sure. And that's why my son does not get an iPad or a phone for quite some time. Because no, thank you. I don't want that. What is it called? The Gen Z stare? There's something called the Gen Z stare. I don't know if you're
actually, one of my coworkers was like telling me about his neck.
Yeah.
How his neck is different from growing up looking at phones because he's like 22.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's like, no, you wouldn't have it because you guys didn't have phones the whole time. I'm like, okay, cool.
It does develop, though, depending on how long you do it. It's weird. It's one of those like micro evolution things, you know?
It won't last much longer. Pretty soon it'll be right on their eyelids. Big business ain't giving away that like little secret to our souls. We're sitting here talking about demons, and it's like all these big
There's demons walking in the flesh.
The tech corporations are like, we don't need demons. We got social media to take their souls and sell their shit.
You know that if the CEOs of these social media companies don't even let their children use it, that it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad for your kids.
I feel like that's not the case with all of them, though. I feel like there's a couple reporters that throw that out there, like, "Oh, look at this," and most of them give as much big a crap about their kids as they do about anything else.
Sure, maybe it's not the CEOs, but the people that actually work for these companies.
I don't feel like it's very many of them.
Okay, Christian, you have your whatever you want to believe, and you can be wrong as you are with many things. I'm going to go ahead and reset these cameras. We're going to get into this last story. So now we got that all. Let's close it out with a really creepy one. Hey, shout out to Candy, who placed a order on our website while we're recording this episode.
Thank you, Candy.
Thank you, Candy. I want candy. Aaron Carter, R.I.P.
Did he sing that song?
Hell yeah.
So he remade that song.
Sure.
That was an old crappy song from the 80s. Like a one-hit wonder band.
I have breaking news for you. It was a crappy song from my day as well.
Well, especially if Aaron Carter. Didn't he live in Palmdale?
I have no idea.
Or have a baby mom out there like Michael Jackson did?
Probably. After the fame, I'm sure. You could have had Hillary Duff, man. And you did for a brief moment. And then what happened?
She realized he was a has-been already.
It do be like that. Anyway. This has gone on for far too long. Let's close it out on a nice creepy one, and I'll save these last two for the next Police in the Paranormal. How's that sound? Hey, if you guys happen to know any cops that have crazy stories like the ones you're hearing in this episode, do tell them to send them in to the gang at thefreakydeaky.com. I would absolutely love more than anything.
Real cop stories?
Yes. From people that not just the internet. And more than anything, I would love to go to the Wasilla PD that's like right down the street from us and just be like, hey, it's going to sound weird. Might sound a little weird. It's fine. Have you seen a ghost? And then run out of there. Give them a business card. Just run out of there. You know?
No, but we've seen the crackheads.
Yeah, there's plenty of weirdos out here. They'll give you that. Anyway, this next one and closeout story is called What's in the well?
A dead body.
Okay, it's pretty gross, especially if that's your water supply, but
I mean, that's how the ancients did it. Let's
Drink
destroy.
dead bodies?
No, they're like, let's destroy this people. Throw these bodies down their well.
okay.
Happened a lot.
Name 6 times.
I can't name the dates they happened. I can name some of the people that did it.
Sure.
Romans, amongst others.
Amongst others, great save. Anyway, this is by Weird Wolf Guy. Thanks for the story, Weird Wolf Guy. Coming in hot. Coming in handy. It says, not a cop, but I called them once for some screaming I heard. Thought maybe one of the meth heads in the area had gotten themselves hurt. I needed to be to work, and their screaming was keeping me from sleeping. So head into the woods with the cop who shows up. We both hear the screaming and follow it. Get to this old well, open-topped, no cover, and sounds like the screaming is down inside. Shine the light down, and nothing. But the screaming stopped immediately. Yeah, so not cool. In that situation, are you pushing the officer down to get away and give yourself a head start? Or are you like buddy-buddy with this guy, like, let's get out of here, you know?
I'd be like, what kind of animal makes that sound?
They'd be like, oh, it's a trapped hyena. There's a couple of foxes mating down in this well. Disgusting. Let's put the top back up on there. Give them some privacy,
Yeah.
you know?
We told them to get a room. They did.
Unfortunately, it's filled with water. Yeah. What animals do make screaming sounds?
I mean, there's a few that have been used when people try to explain away like Bigfoot sightings and other kind of, I mean, the
That's
loons,
usually when I hear it.
the loon's always one, but a loon's not going to stay in a well. To me, if it's in the well and they didn't see it when they shine the light in there, it would have to be pretty small.
Yeah, or it died this second, like just coincidentally happened to pass away the moment the light goes in there. And so
But
it's just,
they would see the carcass.
would it still be floating?
I mean, there might not have been any water in the well. Not all of them have water anymore.
That's
It's an
true.
old one. Could have been some kind of bird, but also could have been somebody whose final resting place was that well, and maybe that's why it's dried up now.
That's not the thought you want.
I mean, that's the thought you're going to have if you walk up to a well and hear screaming.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's an animal, it's
I
still going to
wouldn't
be
even go with the cop. I'd be like, yeah, it's coming from over there. Yeah, I'll see you in 10 to 15. You know?
Do you want me to get my gun just in case?
Yeah. Yeah, no thanks.
I have donuts if you make it back.
You're under arrest, is what he says at that point. Well, that concludes it, guys. I don't know. You tell me, what is in that well, you know? Is it a fox? Is the fox getting down dirty with another fox and they just happen to be within earshot and be like, oh shit, someone's dying in this well.
I feel like a fox wouldn't make a sound like you think is
Like screaming.
I think that would be more recognizable, but maybe with the acoustics.
Bunnies have really...
Dude, I've heard bunnies before, and it is one of the...
You don't forget it.
No, because when I was young, I used to hunt with my dad. And
Yeah, and you used to torture them and...
No, but...
Just twist their necks and be like, yeah, make the sound I like. You know? Was that what you did?
Not quite, but sometimes you did have to twist the neck. But
Oh, wow.
put them out of their misery or to stop them from screaming that hideous scream. Oh, yeah, you heard one around here before, right?
Yeah, car went out of its way to run one over across the street as I'm sitting outside smoking. And then his friend was there, and his friend witnessed his buddy get run over and just lost his mind running off into the night.
Yeah, it's not a sound you want to hear.
Mm-hmm. I
And
remember just being frozen like...
at least you knew at least you kind of saw what was happening, because otherwise, if you're just out in the middle of nowhere and a rabbit gets hurt and starts screaming because it's dying,
I say, that's a crawler.
Yeah.
That's a crawler out there. We need to get inside.
Yeah, that's not cool shit and terrifying.
Not
I didn't
cool
even
shit.
think a rabbit, but that was a perfect pull for that, making a creepy sound.
Very true. Very true.
But in this case, I'm just going to say this was obviously a ghost. Demons are real, and every case proves it. I'm not going that far. Bad science. I have a really good box.
It's fine. Anyway, folks, go ahead and leave your comments below. What do you think was going on with that last story? And more importantly, tell me what you think about the two stories with the voices, the demonic voices and stuff. I know that's hit or miss with some crowds, but
I feel like I said, I feel like I've heard stories of multiple voices come from one person. So maybe somebody remembers hearing that too out there.
poltergeist thing. There's a few of the Ed and Lorraine Warren cases have that.
Yeah,
I think Enfield was the one I'm thinking of, maybe.
I'd feel better it coming from someone other than Ed and Lorraine.
Yeah, I'm not saying that take their word as gospel. I'm just saying that a couple of the things they covered, people did mention. And I want to say it was the Enfield poltergeist. But I could be wrong. That happens quite often. So
there's so many poltergeists. I can't believe I haven't ran into one yet.
I had a great quote for that, and I wish I could pull it back up.
You want to regurgitate it?
Yeah. Feed it to you like a baby bird. It's fine. Anyway, we'll see next week. Or no, we won't. Next time we see you guys, it's going to be the Halloween Spooktacular number 6. And we're going to get into some crawlers, get into some haunted houses, and some workplace haunts as well. So, got a fun one for you. And we'll see you in a couple weeks' time. In the meantime, if you are new to this show and you are just kind of lurking in the corners, subscribe. Isn't that fun? We got some shows coming out. We're entering spooky season now, so we've been putting the pedal to the metal with the video stuff. And it'd be great if you subscribed and checked it out.
I ain't scared.
We'll see you for the TFT Halloween Spooktacular next time on the Frinkity Dinkity. Farewell.
Does that mean I have to come up with a costume?
Bigfoot is stalking by your window. Dogman is scratching at your door. Ghosties are walking up and down your halls at night, and the Hat Man is coming back for more. Your name is Christian, you love a can of beans, and you're the wettest blanket scat this world has ever seen. You're almost always wrong, it's quite an impressive streaky. This song has rambled on too long. Welcome to the Freaky Deaky. Your name is Christian, you're named ironically, because the only belief you have can be found in a can of beans. You're almost never right, and now you get roasted weekly. This song has rambled on too long. Welcome to the Freaky Deaky. Also, ghosts exist, just an FYI. Aliens are feeling blue. The Ouija demons lonely
feel like we're being watched now, you know? Like before I didn't have to worry about my hair or worry about like, oh, am I sweating bullets in this, hot garage? Are my sweats showing?
You shouldn't wear
They
sweats
are?
in public.
I'm not in public, am I?
Technically, you are.
That's fine. Whatever. We're here for it. Folks, now that we got that incredibly uncomfortable, it took me so long to get used to introducing the show, and now I have to introduce the show on a video. You know what I mean?
No.
It's ever changing. It's like a grow or die situation, and guess what? I just want to die.
I'm still not thinking about it. I'm just going with it. I might look at the camera every once in a while, but it's in a weird spot that I'm not used to, so I might forget
I always gave you bad lighting in the videos
on purpose.
I just didn't care enough to make you look good. I was like, whatever. It's people. It's Christian. He doesn't believe in ghosts. Everyone. He can have bad lighting. Now I gave myself bad lighting and you great lighting. You're welcome. It's a beautiful backdrop you got there.
I read all these.
Yeah, same. That's my bit actually, Christian. But okay, sure, you can borrow it, I guess. Anyway,
who reads more books?
Between the two of us, me. Absolutely. When was the last time you read a book, Christian?
A little while ago.
Oh, well, that beats me then. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess.
Reading that crazy book that I told you about for the podcast. I almost said the pod, but I didn't want to offend you.
You clung on to it for a little too long. I'm like, Anyway, this first story is called Death Comes for All of Us, or for us all. Let me just wet my whistle a little bit. Wow.
Is it wet? Is it moist?
Sure is. I feel like I did all this adjusting to make sure that I was in the right spot on the screen, and I'm not. Are you in the middle or are you tucked away in the corner?
I'm in the corner.
Okay, good. Just don't be in the middle. It's obnoxious. And I feel like I'm in the middle. It's fine. Whatever.
No, that's like first day of photography.
That's right. Good job, Christian.